morning everyone. Welcome back to accounts class. Today we are going to learn a new topic, that is journal entries. Before going to that, let me revise the previous sessions. So we have learned the golden rules of accounting, which is very important. I hope you have already learned that rules under the modern method. Using the modern method, that is the American system, we are going to solve the problems. If you know the rules, then only this journal entries can be written. Okay, you can solve the journal entries only based on the accounting rules. And one more thing you have to learn is classification of accounts into assets, liabilities, capital, income, expenditure, that is expenses. You should know which account belongs to which particular. Is it an asset, is it a liability, or it is an expense, or it is an income. You should know, you have to identify, you should learn these two, very important to do this journal entries. You should know the classification of accounts and you should learn the rules of accounting under American system. Using these two, we can go ahead with the next topic, that is journal entry. Okay, what do you mean by this journal entry? Journal entries are those which is the first original book where you are going to record all the transaction then and there. Whenever the transactions takes place, that will be recorded in the books of accounts in chronological order according to the date wise. That is chronological order according to the date wise. Whenever it takes place, the transactions takes place in the business, according to that they are going to record the transactions. So recording the transaction in the books of accounts, that is we call it as journal as a original entries. So they are going to record in a chronological order, that is sequentially according to the date they are going to record the transactions. That is the meaning of the journal. Okay. Next, coming to narration. This is linked with journal. What is narration? Narration is nothing but whatever the journal entry we are going to pass, for that there is small explanation. That explanation we call it as narration. The explanation given to one particular journal entry, whatever the journal entry that we are passing, for each and every journal entry we have to give the explanation in a short and sweet. We have to give the explanation for each journal entry. So that explanation we call it as narration. And always this narration will be enclosed with the brackets, this type of brackets. You should not use any other brackets. If you are using the small brackets, it's not considered. You have to use this brackets. Within this brackets you should write the narration. And once the sentence starts with, always start with the being. The word being. Whenever you start a narration, it should start from the word being. This is very important. It should be written within the brackets and the sentence should start from being, the word being. That means you are giving the explanation to that particular journal entry. Okay. So this is journal meaning and the narration. Narration can be asked for 2 mark question. What do you mean by narration? Okay. It is the explanation given to the journal entry passed. Now, this will be the format of journal entry. Format, you have date column, then you have particulars, LF. LF is nothing but ledger folio. Ledger folio. This is debit and credit column. Here we will be writing the amount. Here when the transaction has taken place, that date we are going to write, and here we are going to pass the journal entry along with the narration. We are going to write it under the particulars. Okay. And ledger folio, here we are not be using any ledger folio column. Just for the format sake we are going to write. Usually in the business they are going to write these certain numbers will be written which is related to ledger account. Wherever the ledger book is maintained, suppose cash book is maintained in certain page, so that particular related number will be written here. And this particular number will be written in the ledger account. Okay. So here we are not using any numbers. write here. Any code will not be used in the ledger folio. We will just write it as a format. Okay. And this debit column and credit column, we are going to write the amount belongs to that particular transaction. So this is all about the journal entries. Now I am going to teach you some of the entries, how you are going to write the journals, tracking the transaction. Some examples I am going to teach you using the transaction, how you are going to write the journal entries. Okay. So I have taken certain transaction to teach you how journal entries will be passed. Okay. Now everyone, no need to write anything, just listen to the class. Keep your rules, accounting rules under American system. Keep your notes in front of you and just look at the rules and answer to the question. Okay, just look at the rules is very important when I am writing the entries. Okay, keep one side all the American rules in front of you and take one paper and pencil or a rough note or a pencil to note down certain key points. Okay, please don't write anything, just listen to the class. This particular problem is just an example to show you how to pass the journal entries. I will send another video when I am solving the problem, clearly how we are going to record in the notes. I will send one more video for that. Okay, now just listen to the class, just look at your American system rules and also key points. You should note it down, it will be helpful for you. Okay, now these are the transactions. This is how you are going to get the transaction for your exams also. So all these transactions we need to pass the journal entry. So here they have given journalize the following transactions and the year is given 2019. Here will be mentioned, these are the dates. Okay, on December 1st, 2019, business started with cash rupees 75,000. This is the rupee symbol. We are not using RS. We are not using RS anymore. We are using rupee symbol. Okay. So the date is given here very clearly. December 1st, this particular transaction has taken place. What transaction? Business started with cash rupees 75,000. So the main thing, first when we take any transaction, we have to see whether that particular transaction is a cash transaction or a credit transaction. Okay, we should be very clear with this. So first we have to identify whether it is a cash transaction or credit transaction. Now here it is clearly given started with cash, which means that it is a cash transaction. Okay, there is a small clue for you to identify in the transaction if they are mentioned for cash, from cash, with cash. So that clearly represents that is a cash transactions. Okay, this is how we are going to identify the cash transaction. Credit transaction also I will teach you how to identify. Okay, now so they are starting a business with cash rupees 75,000. Now initially when you start a business, whatever you are going to take your cash and put it into your business as an investment, what that we call it as? We call it as capital. So first here the one aspect, as I told you, we have to find out two aspects. Always keep in your mind dual concept, dual aspect concept. Do you remember that concepts? So one aspect is cash. Okay, I am taking cash here. The next one is capital. Since business is starting when there is a word commenced, business commenced with cash. Business started with cash. When they give started means it is the initial stage where whatever the money you are putting into your business is nothing but we call it as capital. So the second aspect will be capital. Nowhere it will be mentioned in your transaction. You should know. Business starting means it is starting with a capital. Okay. So the two aspects is cash and capital. only for this transaction, first transaction. Okay. Now you tell me cash belongs to which and capital belongs to which? That is assets, liabilities, incomes, expense, capital. We have this classification, right? Accounts classification. So that you tell me. Cash belongs to asset. Capital belongs to capital itself. Okay. Okay. The next step is see the rules of accounting, that is see the rules of assets. We should know the rules of assets and capital now for this particular transaction. Now in this case the cash is an asset, correct? So you think from the point of the business. Now you are the business owner, for entire this transaction belongs to your business itself. Okay, keeping that in your mind, now you have started a business. You have in your business you have cash rupees 75,000. Whether the cash value is increased or decreased, think properly from the point of business. You are not, don't think from the point of owner. You are the owner of the business, fine. But as I told you, business is a separate entity. It is an artificial person. So now think from the point of that artificial person. There was no business, nothing. It was zero, nil. Now the owner has come, that is yourself. The owner has come and invested 75,000 in to start your business. So that business is me. That is an artificial person. Now in my business there is 75,000 of cash. It was zero initially. Now it has been 75,000. The cash value is increased or decreased? It is being increased. So increase in asset. What does the rule says according to assets rules? Check asset rule. Increase in asset will be debited. Debited, we write it DR. Increase in asset value will be debited. Now check the capital rules. Capital was also zero before starting the business. Once the business is started, the capital value is increased to 75,000. So capital value also will be increased. So see the rules of capital. Increase in the value of capital. Increase in the value of capital will be credited. Will be credited. So for credit I am using CR. For debit I am using DR. This is only the explanation. This is not the journal entry. How to identify the aspects and how you are going to apply the rules and how you can understand which will be debited and which will be credited. You should know that. Only for that reason I am doing this. Okay. This is not the actual journal entry. We have to put the format. In that we have to enter the journal entries. Okay. Only to identify the aspects. After identifying, you should classify belongs to which. So cash belongs to asset, capital belongs to capital. So apply the asset rule. So here cash is increasing. Increase in asset will be debited. Capital also increasing. Capital increase in capital will be credited. Okay, this is what the first step that you have to do. You should know the classification rules, all this. That is why I am saying. Okay. Now, how do you pass the journal entry for this? For the first one, I am just passing the journal entries. I will write it once again in the format later in the other video, so that you can understand how to write it in your notes. So now you just listen. Okay. So first entry. Cash is debited, so cash account, you should write like this itself. Cash account debtor 2. Here you should not write, don't start from here itself. That is wrong. You should leave some gap here. After that you should start with 2. Whichever the account is credited, that will be written down. To capital account. To capital account. Okay, don't write credit here. Only debit will be written here. No need to write the credit. Don't write CR. Okay. So this will be write like this. Cash account debtor to capital account. For the first transaction, business started with cash rupees 75,000. For this, the journal entry is cash account debtor to capital account. For this, we should write the narration. As I told you, it is the explanation of the journal entry. So below this itself, we need to write the narration. Narration start with the bracket. So this bracket only you should use. Bracket start with the word being. It is common for all the transaction, for all the journal entry. The narration will start with being. Okay, being. Explanation for this entry. This explanation is very simple. Being started business with cash and enclosed with the bracket. Finish. That's all. Whatever the transaction is there, slight change, and you can write the same thing here as a narration. So this is the journal entry. Okay, understood? For the first entry, for the first transaction, this is the journal entry. For this, it marks carries 1 mark for this total entry. I have given the format, right? Date, particular, ledger folio, debit, credit. For the journal format, in that format we have to write. Under the date, we have to write 2019 December 1st. Under particulars, we will be writing this journal entry. Okay? In debit column, that is straight to this. You will be writing 75,000. Again in the credit column, straight to capital, you will be writing 75,000 amount. That completes the first entry. Are you able to follow? Now you don't write anything in the notes. Don't write anything. Just listen to the class. Same problem, I will give you the notes later. Just listen. Okay? So this is how you are going to identify the aspects. Then find out the account. Then you are going to apply the rules. Once you apply the rules, you will come to know which is debited and which is credited. Based on this, you can pass the journal entry. Okay. Next, moving on to the next entry. So next entry is on December 2nd. December 2nd, paid into bank rupees 20,000. So the two aspects first we need to find out. One is bank. It is clearly known. It is clearly seen. Paid into bank. So bank is one aspect. Bank will be one aspect. And what you are paying? What you are paying into the bank? Obviously we will pay only the cash. Even though it is not mentioned here, it is very clear we are going to pay the cash. We will deposit some money or we want to make some payment. Everything is through cash only, right? So the other aspect will be cash. So two aspects is we have found out from the second transaction. One is bank and one is cash. Okay. Now this particular accounts belongs to which particular account? That is assets, liabilities or expense incomes. Classify these accounts. Both belongs to assets itself. Bank also asset and cash also asset. Both belongs to asset itself. Now, how do you identify which is debit and which is credit? Use the rules. Rules of assets. What is the rule of assets says? Increase in the value of asset will be debited. Decrease in the value of asset will be credited. Now, from the point of your business, now you are the business, you are an artificial person. Now think, you are taking some money, that is 20,000 cash you are taking and you are depositing or putting into the bank. You are paying into the bank. The cash is decreasing in your business or increasing. 20,000 of your business, you are taking it and you are depositing or paying to the bank. Your cash is decreasing or increasing? Increasing or decreasing? Cash is decreasing. It is decreasing. So decrease in asset will be credited. Now you are depositing into your account itself, your bank account itself. So your bank balance will increase or decrease. From that, you just think from your business, you are depositing or you are paying to your bank where your account is existing. So your account balance will increase or decrease? Obviously the account balance will increase. So increase in asset will be debited. I have just written here increase symbol, arrow mark upwards, decrease downwards, arrow mark. Don't get confused, okay? So cash and bank both belongs to asset itself. So apply the asset rules here. So from your business, you are the business, you are paying some certain cash to the bank. So your cash value is decreasing. Decrease in the value of asset will be credited. Okay. Next is bank. Your bank account balance is increasing or decreasing? When you put some money, obviously the bank balance will increase. So increase in asset will be debited. Understood how to apply the rules? Please learn this. Now how do you pass the entries? So second entry will be, since debit is bank, so that we have to write bank account, we have to write first bank account, debtor, leave some gap here, you should leave, and then write debtor. 2, here also you should leave the gap. 2, which is credited cash. To cash account. Okay, narration for this being cash paid into bank, enclosed with the bracket. So this is the narration. This is the second journal entry. Bank account, debtor to cash account. Narration for this being cash paid into bank. Understood? When you select the aspects, 2 aspects, when you after that classify the account, then using the rules you will find out debit and credit. Obviously, when in 2 aspects, one will be debited and one will be credited. Both cannot be debited, both cannot be credited. Dual aspect concept says there will be 2 effects, 2 entries, 2 accounts will be affected, that is debit and credit. Both the side we will have the effect. If you are showing both this as debit or both are as credit, it is wrong. Okay, it's very clear. One account will be debited, the other account will be credited. It should be, then you have to apply the rules correctly. If it is wrong, if both is debited, both is credited, then somewhere your rules application will be wrong. So learn the rules, be thorough with the rules, then you can easily apply the rules on this accounts. Okay. So this will be the second journal entry. Now moving on to the third transaction. What does the third transaction says? Sold goods for cash rupees 15,000 and the date is on December 3rd. So on December 3rd, goods have been sold for cash rupees 15,000. Now you tell me whether it is a cash transaction or credit transaction. It's a cash transaction. It is clearly mentioned for cash. Is it right? So that is the cash transaction. Now sold goods. Sold goods is nothing but we call it as sales. Sold goods we call it as sales. So 2 aspects is, one is sales, the other one is cash. Okay, one is sales since goods have been sold. sold goods they have given, right? So in that sold is nothing but we are taking as sales. Sales account is one aspect, cash account is second aspect. Okay. Now sales belongs to which account? Which particular classification? Sales, when you sell something, what you are going to receive? Certain returns, certain income you are going to return. Is it right? So it belongs to income and gains. Sales belongs to income and gains. Asset, cash belongs to asset. Okay. Now apply the rule of incomes. So here when you sell the goods, your sales goods is an income. Is it right? So your income is increasing or decreasing? When you sell the goods, your income is increasing or decreasing? Just think. Obviously our income will increase. So increase in the income. Increase in the income will be credited. Check the rules. Check the rules of the incomes. Incomes and the gain. Incomes or gains, the rules of that. Increase in the incomes or gains, it will be credited. So this sales account is credited. Now cash. Now you have sold the goods. You are selling the goods. Cash is paid to you. So cash value is, till now we are just thinking, assume till now you have 20,000 in your business. Now you are selling the goods and you are receiving another 15,000. 20,000 already there. Add to that 15,000. It will increase or decrease? Obviously it will increase. Is it right? 35,000 it becomes. So cash is increasing. So apply the rules of asset. Increase in the asset. Increase in the asset will be debited. Increase in the asset will be debited. So here what will be the entry? Always the debited account should be taken first. Cash account, debtor to sales account. To sales account. Cash account, debtor to sales account. Narration for this: being sold goods for cash. So this will be your journal entry with the narration. Okay, hope you are able to understand. We are going one by one transaction. Okay, we have finished 3 transactions. This is the 3rd transactions journal entry. Got it? Next, moving on to the next transactions. That is date number 5. Bought machinery from HMT Limited, rupees 12,000. Read the transaction once again. Read it carefully. On 5th December, they have bought the machinery from HMT Limited. HMT Limited, rupees 12,000. See, just observe, something is missing in this transaction. Nowhere in the transaction they have mentioned cash. Nowhere in the transaction they have mentioned cash. But they have given the name of certain company here. They have given the name of certain company from where they have bought the machinery. This represents, this transaction belongs to credit transaction. In credit transaction, whether it is sales or purchasing something, you are purchasing or you are selling, if they have not mentioned cash and if they have given any particular company's name or any person name, name of a person, name of any artificial person, all this we have to see carefully whether it is a credit transaction or cash transaction. In this case, it is very clear, cash is not mentioned and they have given the name of certain company. So this belongs to credit transaction. Okay. Now how to identify the aspects? It's very clear. You are purchasing, that is bought machinery. So machinery will be one aspect. Okay. The next one, you are purchasing from HMT Limited. So the name of the person, instead of cash is not there. So instead of cash we have to take the name of the company, that is HMT Limited. Okay. Now you are going to classify the accounts. Machinery belongs to fixed assets. Machinery belongs to fixed assets. That is nothing but assets. Okay, machinery is an asset. Now HMT Limited. Since you are purchasing on credit. Your means always I am telling you, think from the point of business. Assume yourself as a business. Now you are purchasing machinery from HMT Limited company. Okay, but it is on credit transaction. What do you mean by credit transaction? You are not paying the cash immediately, but it will be paid in the future days. It is on credit basis. Is it right? So the company or the firm or the business will be liable to pay that particular company. Amount has to be paid in the future. Now you have purchased, that is I have purchased machinery from HMT company for credit, on credit basis. I didn't pay anything. So I am liable to pay for my HMT company, that is they are my creditors. Depending on the transaction we have to identify whether it is a creditor or debtor. Usually creditors will be created at the time of purchasing. Debtors will be created at the time of sales. Okay. Do you remember the meaning of debtors and creditors? I have clearly explained you in the online interactive session. Take the example, don't get confused. Creditors and debtors. Creditors, debtor is different. Debit, credit is different. Don't mix together and don't get confused. Okay. Debit and credit, we are using the golden rules of accounting. By that we are identifying which is debited, which account will be debited, which account will be credited. Okay. Debtor and creditors is different meaning. So here we are purchasing the machinery from HMT company. They are giving the benefit now. I am using, but I didn't pay anything. I am liable to pay in future. Okay, I am liable to pay in future. So here these are creditors. Creditors is nothing but, I will be writing here. Creditors is nothing but belongs to liabilities. Okay. Creditors is nothing but which belongs or which comes under the liabilities. Now apply the rules here. Assets, rules and liability rules. You are purchasing the machinery. Now value of asset is increasing or decreasing. In your business, you are purchasing a new machinery is coming into your business. Now value of your asset is increasing or decreasing? It is increasing. Asset value of your business is increasing. So increasing asset will be debited. Okay. Now coming to the liabilities. So you have bought the machinery for 12,000, but you didn't pay. You are going to pay in future. So 12,000 of your loan, it's a type of loan. Assume just like a loan. You didn't pay, you are going to pay in future. So that 12,000 is pending unless you pay that. So you are liable. That means your loan is increasing or decreasing. Your liability is increasing. So increasing liability will be credited. Increase in liability will be credited. So how this will be entered here? Debit entry will be first. So machinery account, debit or debtor to HMT Limited account. Narration for this. Start with the brackets. Being machinery purchased from HMT Limited on credit. Here we can give the explanation on credit. Okay. So this is all about the 4 transaction. Bought machinery from HMT Limited, rupees 12,000. So when there is no information related to cash, they have given any particular person name or artificial person name that shows it is a credit transaction. In credit transaction, the next step is you will be either getting debtors or creditors. Debtors belongs to assets, creditors belongs to liability. This is the reason why I used to tell that learn the basic terminologies is very important. Now, without knowing the meaning of debtors, creditors, liabilities, assets, these problems cannot be solved. This is the basic foundation where you are going to learn how the accounting transactions will be entered in the books of accounts. Okay, so this is all about the 4 transactions. Going to the next one, that is on date 7 December, purchase goods for cash rupees 10,000. So it is clearly mentioned for cash. That says it is a cash transaction. One aspect we have found out, that is cash. Right? Now, purchase goods. Purchase goods. Do you remember in sold goods what we have taken? Sales. When you are purchasing certain goods, it becomes purchases. So, purchases will be one aspect and cash is the second aspect. Okay. So, purchase belongs to expenses. Purchase belongs to expenses. Cash belongs to asset. Classification of the account is done. Now apply the rules. Rules of expenses. What does the rule of expenses says? Increase in the expenses will be debited, decrease in the expenses will be credited. Now when you are purchasing your expenses is increasing or decreasing? When you start purchasing something, is it an expense or income? It's an expense. Your expenses are increasing. So, increasing expense will be debited. Now, cash is an asset. When you start purchasing something, you are paying the cash. So, cash value, the cash balance is decreasing or increasing when you purchase. It is decreasing. The cash value is decreasing. So, decreasing asset will be credited. You check the rules. That is the reason I told you first itself keep the rules with you. Okay. So, decrease in asset will be credited, increase in expense will be debited. Since your purchases, you are purchasing the goods, your expenses are increasing and your cash values, that is the cash balance is decreasing. Understood? Now, the entry will be purchase account. Since purchase is debited, so we have taken purchase account. Debtor to cash account. To cash account. Don't write here creditor. That is wrong. Okay. Next, being goods purchased. Goods purchased for cash. This is your narration. So, we have completed 5 transactions. These are the journal entries we are going to do. And in the exam or in the test, this particular thing is not considered. Only the journal entries you are supposed to write. This part I am explaining how to classify the accounts, how to identify the aspects and how we are going to use the rules to apply the rules. For that reason I am explaining with this. Okay, this is not compulsory for you to do. In the initial stage, since you have to start learning the journal entries, initial stage you learn the journal entries by this way. So first identify the aspects, then classify into accounts, then apply the rules. Okay. Next, moving on to the next entry, that is on the date 9th December. Sold goods to Swati rupees 5,000. Sold goods to Swati rupees 5,000. First thing, it is a cash transaction or credit transaction. Identify from this. Sold goods to Swati rupees 5,000. Anywhere in the transaction they have mentioned the cash? No. But they have given the name of a person. Is it right? So this is a credit transaction. So one aspect is Swati. Sold goods, that is nothing but sales. So second aspect is sales. So taking first one as sales and second one Swati as a person, name of the person. So when they have given the name of the person, it is very clear it is a credit transaction. So in the credit transaction, you will be taking either the name of a person or the name of artificial person. What do you mean by artificial person? The name of the business. Okay. Now sales belongs to which account? It belongs to incomes. Okay. Next, Swati. You are selling the goods to Swati, but Swati is not paying immediately. She will be paying later stages. So she becomes your debtor. She is your debitor. Okay, debtor. So debtor belongs to asset. Okay. So here income, apply the rules of incomes. When you sell the goods, your income is increasing or decreasing? It is increasing. So increasing in the incomes will be credited. Okay. Now your debtor's value, that is the asset value, is increasing or decreasing. In future you will be receiving that particular amount. How much you sold? 5,000. So 5,000 you will be receiving in the future. So debtor's value is being increased. So increase in the asset will be debited. Okay. So here the entry will be Swati account debtor to sales account. To sales account. Narration for this: we sold goods on credit to Swati. It's not necessary to write the name, or else you can just write being sold goods on credit. Even that is correct. Okay. So this will be the narration and this is the journal entry. So next, coming to the next entry, date number 12, purchased furniture rupees 3,000. So now you should tell me whether it is a cash transaction or credit transaction. They have not given the name of any person or any artificial person, and also they have not given the word cash. So here purchased furniture rupees 3,000. That is the information. Since there is no name of any person or any artificial business name, nothing is given. This is a cash transaction. Okay, when there is a name of any person or any business name is given, then we can see whether it is a credit or cash. We have to check it clearly. In this, there is no name of any person, no name of any business name is not given, and there is no cash word also. But here this will be considered as cash transaction. Purchased furniture for rupees 3,000. So one aspect is cash. Since it is a cash transaction, in every cash transaction, cash will be the one aspect. Okay. The second aspect is you are purchasing furniture. So second aspect will be furniture. When you purchase any goods, there you are going to write only purchases. Understood? When you are purchasing any particular asset like furniture, machinery, a motorcycle, any vehicles, if they have given the name of any particular asset, you have to take that particular asset. If they have given sold goods, purchased goods, then you are taking only sales and purchases, which we easily know it is related to goods. Now the two aspects is cash and furniture. Both belongs to assets. Both belongs to asset. Cash is also asset and furniture is also asset. Okay. Now apply the rules of asset. Now you are purchasing furniture. Your asset value is increasing or decreasing. And newly you bought a furniture to your business. The asset value is increasing. So increase in asset will be debited. When you purchase cash, you are paying. Cash balance is decreasing or increasing. In your business, you are paying 3,000. So cash balance is decreased by 3,000, right? So it is decreasing asset will be credited. Entry will be furniture account debtor to cash account. Narration being purchased furniture. Purchased furniture. This is the journal entry. Okay. Next, moving on to the next transaction, that is on 18th. Cash received from Swati. There is no amount here. Cash received from Swati. They have not given any amount. Just think, is there any related transaction previously happened in the business? Is there any information related to Swati in previous transaction? Yes. Here you can see on date number 9, we have sold goods to Swati and we have told that is a credit transaction. Yes. Now they are given on 18th, we are receiving the cash from Swati. What is the amount of goods we have sold? 5,000. So same amount we are receiving on 18th. So they have not given amount, but we have to write 5,000 in the amount column because these two transactions belongs to same person. Same entry, that is same transaction, belongs to goods and same person. Understood? Since it is a credit transaction, they are paying later stages. So when this transaction happened on 9th December and we are receiving cash on 18th December. Got it? So here the two aspect is cash and Swati. Okay? So here Swati was debtor. Since we have sold goods to Swati, Swati was our debtors. And cash is an asset, debtor is an also asset. Now your cash value, when you receive some amount, cash balance will increase or decrease? It is increasing. So increase in asset will be debited. And Swati, what the total amount that she has to pay is 5,000. Debtors amount was 5,000. Now debtors is fully paid. So debtors becomes 0, nil. So debtors value is been decreased. So decrease in asset will be credited. So entry will be cash account to debtor to Swati account. Narration being cash received from Swati. Enclosed with the brackets. Okay? So you have to check in the cash transaction related to cash transaction, there is no confusion. But when there is a credit transaction related to any person or any business, if there any other transaction is related, we have to cross check with the previous transaction when there is no amount. When there is certain information related to other transaction, we have to check it properly. Okay? Now the last entry. Paid salary rupees 1,000. That is date number 25. So on 25th December, they paid salary worth of rupees 1000. So this is a cash transaction only. So one aspect is salary, the other aspect is cash. So cash, one is salary and one is cash. So salary belongs to when you are paying, it becomes expense. When you are receiving salary, it becomes incomes. So since here we are paying the salary, so salary belongs to expense. And cash, asset. Now you tell me, when you pay the salary, your expenses are increasing or decreasing? Your expenses are increasing. So increase in expense will be debited. And the cash value is, cash balance in your business is decreasing. So decreasing asset will be credited. So the entry will be salary account, debtor to cash account. Narration for this being salary paid. Being salary paid. So this is all about the journal entries. So in today's class, I have showed you how to identify the aspects from each transaction, and after identifying, we should classify into the different accounts, whether it belongs to asset or liability or expense, incomes, based on the nature of transaction. Once we have classified, then we should apply the rules to know which account will be debited and which account will be credited. Whichever the account is debited will be written first. Okay? Salary account debtor to cash account. Very clearly I am telling you, here you should write DR, don't write debtor, full debit, don't write full name. You have to write DR only. And when you start with the second line to cash here, when you start to, before that there should be some gap. Okay? The same way you have to write, don't change the format. Format is very important. Okay? And then below this you have to write the narration. Got it? Whenever we are writing the amount, no, in debit column or in credit column, how we are going to write? Suppose just an example I am showing you. 1000 rupees is the salary. So salary account is debited. So in debit column you will be writing 1000. Straight to the, this column is empty. And here cash account is credited. So in credit column you will be writing 1000. This is how you should write. Don't write both in. See, 1000 in credit column means don't write it here itself. Straight to this transaction only, this account we have to write. So salary account is debited. So in debit column we will write 1000. Cash account is credited. So in credit column we have to write straight to the cash. It's very important. This has to go applied for all the transaction I am talking about. Okay. So when I am sending the notes for this particular problem, I will write it in neatly according to the account. Same line you have to write the amount. Narration is important. Format is very important. Okay. Please learn. Practice is very important for you. Please start practicing this small entries. This will be a sure question for your annual exam. This is for 12 marks. Okay, your format is considered, your narration for each entry, that is also important. The way how you are going to present is also important. So this is very important things that you have to note it down. I will send the notes for this separately. In this video, you just listen to the class and understand how to classify, how to apply the rules. Okay, if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.